Hi, everyone. Welcome to the OK Dan Show. I am Titia Owens, the madre.
Hey, y'all. I'm Chyna Elizabeth, the daughter. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome and stuff. We are elated today. We have a young man here with us from around the world.
Right.
And
For coffee, actually.
You got it right. Yeah.
Oh, okay then. Well, this young man is here. He is a superstar. And we're so excited to have him here because he's going to be sharing with us his journey. So what's really incredible about this young man, first of all, is his name.
Oh, God.
If you don't mind, young man, would you please tell the people what your name is?
Tylor Perry.
Tylor Perry. Will you spell that, please?
Tylorperry.
Oh, so Tylor. So there is a difference.
There you go.
But he is a superstar. He is not the one that y'all have seen do the movies and plays and all that thing, but he is a superstar, and I'm calling him a star.
A celebrity, if you will.
On purpose. But we're going to learn more about this young man today, and we're so excited to have you here, Tylor. And so I call this young man Toronto. That is not his name, but that is the name that I have given him. And the reason being is because when my daughter first told me about this young man, I think at the time he was in Toronto. So I said, you know what? That's going to be his name. For me, it's Toronto. So I'm like, what's up, Toronto? So, hey, Toronto.
How you doing?
No, I'll stay with Tylor. But I do love calling you that. But anyway, Tylor, tell us, first of all, a little bit about your journey. So we're going to get into what's happening with your career and all that. But he is a basketball star. Let me just start with that. And because he is a basketball star, I wanted him to kind of talk to the young people just about his journey and his process. Because again, as a young person today, there are different trials and things that you have to overcome in this process. And so I wanted to let you all hear his journey because he has done some amazing things and is doing some amazing things. So just kind of take us back, Tylor, just even as a child, talk about the journey and the process and the support that you've had.
Honestly, for me, the best part about all this, like you say, is the journey.
Okay.
Like, just being able to look back and see like how far you've come as not only like a player but a person.
Yeah.
But honestly, I picked up the ball when I was 3 years old, and I was actually a football player first.
Okay.
That's what's funny, and even now, like when I go to high school, it's like kids like think I play football, but nah, like. I fell in love with every sport when I was younger. I was one of those kids who wanted to do everything, but football was my first love. And then when I got older, my mom was like, "We're not doing that no more." Like,
she sound like me.
Yeah, we putting that.
That's exactly
Shut
what
up,
she
Mom.
did.
Hey, Mom.
We putting that football down, and then when I played baseball for a little bit, and she was like, "She's not sitting in the heat no more." So, but she was literally just telling me like, "You just sticking to basketball," and they say is Mama knows best.
Yeah,
and so
we do.
Obviously she did, and she made me choose right. And so but yeah, growing up it was it was really every sport, and then got into basketball. I started taking it serious when I got to about the 8th grade.
Okay.
And from then on it was just like straightforward. Everything was about basketball and trying to change my family's life and my life. And so I dedicated everything I had to the game of basketball.
So you said wanting to change the family's life. For you, what does that mean?
A lot of people think, or even me, like when I was younger, I thought it was money.
Okay.
That was like, that's how I'm gonna change my family's life. But at the end of the day, like money don't make family closer. If anything, it pulls them apart.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest thing was just like staying who I was, even when I accomplished my goals. And so like, if you ask my mom now, like people tell us all the time, we act like best friends. Like, and that's how it's been since I was a kid. And so like, I've never changed who I am, even though money has changed, circumstances have changed, and my life has changed. My morals and who I am as a person has always stayed the same. And so, like, I think that's what my family is most proud of.
Okay.
And that's what, like, essentially brings us together now. And now we have a reason to. So it's like they see me and they're like, okay, like, Tylor has a lot going on. Let us be on a straight and narrow too.
That's
and that's
awesome.
that's not just for my immediate family, but for like little cousins and people around the neighborhood that's growing up. And so it's like, to see me now still go back home. Like a lot of dudes get to this position and be like, I ain't going back home. But me,
and where's home?
Fort Coffee, Oklahoma.
Who, what, when?
Fort Coffee, Oklahoma.
Fort coffee.
Yeah, town of 500.
Oh,
And so I love being home during the off seasons. Like,
okay.
I told, my trainer Rob, like the other day, I was like, I'm buying a house.
Shout out to the trainer Rob.
Yeah, Rob,
Hey,
shout
trainer
out
Rob.
Rob, man. I told him, like, I'm buying a house back home next summer, and like y'all are coming to me, like, because I love being at home. I think that's why people at home, like, draw to me so much, because like I've never changed who I was, no matter what the circumstances was.
So being that, let's talk about discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So will you tell me, your mom is like your best friend now, but growing up,
Right.
what was the role that she played in your life that kind of kept you on the straight and narrow to stay focused?
Just seeing how hard she worked.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's 3 grown boys she had to raise, and not only her but my dad. Like,
Shout out to Dad. What up,
for
Dad?
Hey, Dad.
A lot of people know it, but like my dad was incarcerated the first 10 years of my life. So, but he was. It's weird. As a kid, I still felt his presence, even being incarcerated.
That's awesome.
But not only watching her raise 3 grown boys on her own, but when he came home, the discipline of him to change his life. Like, he came home and was like, I have a plan. This is what I'm about to do. And he did it.
Wow.
Now he owns his own barbershop, and like,
That's amazing.
he invested everything he had like into his boys, into his family. And so like, if you ask him today, he won't admit it, but like everything he did, he like was like, I'm gonna get you to the NBA, or I'm gonna help you get to the NBA. And so like, just watching them two made me be like, if they can do it under these circumstances and feel like they have nothing to work for, and to just be like, I'm gonna invest that into my kids, it's not hard for me to get up and go work out.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, so
Were they strict though?
my mom was. My mom was super strict.
It's always the mom.
She'll
No,
say,
definitely.
when she see this, she gonna say she wasn't, but mom was like, she cracked down on everything. Like, still to this day.
Yeah.
Like, I've had talks with her, like, these past couple months, like, Mom, I'm not a baby no more. Like,
Right.
I'm a grown man. I live on my own. I don't have to ask you for money no more. Like,
Right.
and she's still like, no, you the baby. Like, cause
Mama
I am
gonna always be your mama.
Yeah, I'm the baby of the family, so she still is like calling, make sure I'm in the house at certain times
that
of
would be
night.
me.
I'm like, Mama, like, when are you gonna let me leave the nest? And she was like, nah, you my baby. It's not happening. So
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah, we kind of have that in common. I think it's just a mothering thing. It's not that we don't want you to become an adult. We just always see you as our little boy.
yeah, that's exactly what she
we
said.
know that you're a grown man. We know that you have your life and all these different things ahead of you. But in our minds, you're always that little young man that we saw growing up. And we just have that vision, no matter how big you are or how grown you are. Our visual is, this is our baby.
Right.
So
sure.
that is hard to sometimes accept from parents, but you gotta live with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tyler, if you were trying to talk to a young person right now, being that you are at this point in your life, if you look back at your younger self, what would you tell your younger self to do different, or would you stay the same course?
Honestly, for me, it's not much I would change about, my journey. I think the biggest thing would be like, surround yourself with good people. And so no matter what you do, no matter which journey you decide to take, decide, make sure you're around great people that's invested in you and not invested what you can bring them. And so, just choosing the right company at all times, that could be detrimental. And I've seen it.
For sure.
I've had friends or old friends that I've seen, like, because of who they hang around, they ended up being in situations they can't get out of.
Yeah.
And so, the biggest thing, like, if you have a goal, if someone has to continue to tell you to work hard, you don't want it bad enough. But if you have that type of drive that you're going to work at it, surround yourself with good people. And that's the most important thing.
So how did you know to decipher good people from not so good people? Like,
Mama.
Well, okay, that's what I was going to say.
Mama.
So did you have to bring them around her for them to see them and go, okay, that's a absolutely
She
not.
picked them out as soon as they walked in the door. Like, as soon as they walk in the door, she's sniping them out.
Yeah.
And so, like, it was definitely times where I would go against the grain. I'd be like, Mama, listen, you don't understand. Whatever.
that's my boy.
Yeah. But she was like, she owned it. She was like, I knew it from the jump. Like, and I tried to tell you, and like, she hasn't been wrong yet. So
That's so good. I love hearing that, because a lot of times for young people, it is hard to really listen to their parents when they tell them that, because again, when you're connected to these friends, you're like, this is my boy, we having fun, we kicking it. But those parents, we can see past what's actually going on right then and there. And we do see the negativity that
Absolutely.
it can be a long-term problem.
Absolutely.
If you don't nip it in the bud. I remember having to do that with my children. Chyna, do you remember that? Those instances? Do you remember those times when I had to pull you to the side?
You know, you always felt like my friends were never the right friends. And they're no longer my friends, so definitely all the time.
But one of the things you admitted some of the times, like, you know how sometimes we would say your friends are leading you down the wrong path.
Absolutely.
Sometimes Chyna was the one doing the leading.
And that's
my
all I had to
goodness.
say. She would think they would be influencing me. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm doing this because I want to do this.
Exactly.
Like, what?
But I learned that later on.
Right. For sure.
It's me. I'm no longer that way anymore, guys. But it was definitely me, unfortunately.
Sure. She was the one that those moms were saying, you might want to cut her off.
No.
I'm only kidding.
No.
I'm just serious. But anyway. So Tylor.
Oh, gosh.
Tell us about where you are right now in your life. What is it that you want to see happen with your future?
So I'm currently in the, I'm no longer a free agent. That'll come out in about a week or so.
Okay.
Where I'm going. And so I haven't fulfilled my lifelong dream yet.
Okay.
I'll play in the G League this next year.
Okay.
Hopefully, you know, at some point this year, like I'll be in the NBA. And when I step foot on that NBA court, I'll fulfill my dream. So I'm still have so much to work towards, and I got to start at the bottom. And so like I'm comfortable down here though. Like that's where I like it. Like I love when, you know, I'm in the dark and everybody else has their future already planned out for them. And so honestly, I gotta let God handle the rest.
Come on now. No,
That's
let him do
right.
it.
All I can do is do my job and meet him in the middle. And let him handle the rest. So
Amen.
but I'm just in the NBA process now, and you know, it's about to be a journey. So
That's exciting.
That's so wonderful. So let's talk about your spiritual life, because you just mentioned that. So kind of tell us what that journey has been, because again, for young people, that's usually a struggle or a battle. And so someone had to influence you, number one.
Yes.
And you had to accept somewhere along the way that there was some truth to it. So tell us about that.
So I was one of those kids who was in the church every Sunday.
Okay.
Went to Bible school, Sunday school, was there on Wednesdays. Like I was in there, but it's so weird. I never understood what I was learning growing up.
Yeah.
Like, and,
That's not weird. It happens to a lot of people.
I never understood anything about what I was learning. I was just told you need to go to church or whatever. So I went. And then once I got older, not that I veered off, but like I always believed in God. I always was like spiritual, but I never understood how to be spiritual or what I was understanding, supposed to learn. And so I tried reading the Bible in high school, and I was like, man, like I'm gonna try, like still never understood, still never felt touched or anything. And so it was just like, man, what's going on? I even tried going Muslim one time, like, because my dad is a Muslim. Okay. So it was like I tried to understand their language, like I tried to get it, like I was like, man, why don't I feel it? Like, and so I just kept on and on, like trying that. And for a time, at one point, it was just like, man, like, not that I'm not paying attention to it, but it was just like, it wasn't a focus. And so, but they always say, like, when you lose your focus, God gonna find a way to make you refocus. And so, yeah, so
every time.
Yeah, so honestly, now who I am now, I'm probably the most spiritual I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
And so, but it's been through the lessons I've learned, and it was just like you try to fulfill those missing holes in your life with everything the world offers.
Okay.
And nothing ever could fulfill that hole in my heart, in my whatever the case I'm going through.
Yeah.
And so like I never got it or never really understood it until they said, finally understood in the Bible. It was one verse that I have it tatted on me, Galatians 6:9. But like now, God separates man when it's time to elevate him. So long story short, my draft night comes up. The Raptors ended up allowing me to come play on their summer league team. And I'm in Toronto, whatever the case may be. And I mean, like the day after the draft happens, I mean, it was a ripple effect of losing friends. I lost friends. I lost best friends. I lost family members.
Wow.
Like, I mean, people that I adored, like relationships, like everything just completely went sideways after I got to where I essentially been trying to get to since I was 3 years old when I picked up the basketball.
Yeah.
And I just got to sit there thinking, I'm like, man, like, how could this happen at this time? I don't understand, like, why would this happen? Everybody has been on this roller coaster, has been on this ride since I picked up the basketball. As soon as I get to where I've dreamed of going, everybody vanishes. And I was like, it was the weirdest thing. Like, the Bible verse came up out of nowhere, and it was just like, when God separates, it's time to elevate. And so for the first time in my life, I have felt alone. I have felt like I have nobody but my family.
Wow.
And so I was like, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But I just couldn't take everybody on the elevator with me. Some people had to stop and get off. And so.
And that experience changed you to trust him?
Even way more than I ever have. Like, what is for me is going to be for me.
Yeah.
No man or woman can take that away.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. Go mom and dad.
Okay.
Come on now, putting in that good stuff. That's what I want to hear. So again, you know, I always look at processes and journeys, and I love hearing the different things that have to happen in your life. And so when you went through that process, it brought you closer to the Lord, but it also made you realize some things too. It made you have to depend on the Lord a lot differently. So share with me what that process was like, because again, when young people hear this, I want them to understand these are different things that happen in your life. However, you're able to overcome them, as well as having a support system makes a difference. So I just enjoy allowing people to hear you just share a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so it gets lonely in this process. It gets hard. Like, people see the glamorous things, like the social media, and you get to be here, you get to be there, but like, people don't understand that stuff only happens for a split second in real life. So like draft night, it was one of the best nights of my life. Like, I didn't get drafted, but it felt like I did. Like, it felt like I was on top of the world, but that happened for 5-6 hours, and then reality hits, and I got to go back to my regular life. And so like, those times when you're alone, those times when you feel like you have nobody, and mama's not there to cry on, and dad's not there to cry on, because they have, and you got, and the situation I'm in is like, I start to think like, man, I don't want to put no more problems on my mother and father. Like, my brothers have their own families. I don't want to like call them late at night and be like, listen, like, I'm going through this, or like, I feel like I'm by myself, like, because I understand they may feel that way, but they have to wake up and have to go provide for their families. All I have to do is play basketball. So it's like, I start to think in that type of sense, and it's just like, I try not to be so ungrateful. And then so like, the only person I literally have to lean on is the good Lord. Like, and so like, praying works, man. Prayer is so strong.
Amen.
Like, prayer is real. And so like, them times where I just felt like, man, I have nowhere to go. And I'm like, do I even want to do this? Or like, is this worth it? It's like, man, sit there and pray. Just talk to God. He ain't gonna tell nobody. He ain't gonna fault you for coming to him. He ain't gonna make you feel like no burden. And so for me, that's what it was. It was just like somebody to just lean and cry on.
That's so good.
So,
that's awesome. So take us back to draft night, because you said that was an experience. What happened?
So we had the first party at the casino.
Okay.
Shout out to Choctaw Casinos in Pensacola.
Choctaw, what's up?
Yeah, they definitely blessed us. It was packed in there. It was at least 150 people in there.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so from all my family, like extended family, friends, all came out, showed out for me. And just a great, super fun night. So it started there. Ended up moving to my house later that night.
Oh, wow.
And so shout out to my mama, because she did not let nobody come over. So like, I ended up letting her talk her into letting me have a pool party.
Okay.
So man, it was another 100 people there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and it was insane, and we just had such a good time.
Aww.
Great vibes. All my childhood friends was there, and it probably lasted 3-4 hours, and it was like, everybody had a great time. Everybody made it home safe. And so, man, it's just like, them was one of those moments where you wish you could relive it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you cherish those forever. Like, no matter what happens after that, you cherish nights like that because of how much fun and how good of a time you had with the people that you love.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have like so much support and people being there for you?
It just shows how blessed you are. And it just shows like I was telling you earlier, like, you just don't change who you are.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I felt like that was a testimony that I never changed up. Like, and you know, people try to be like, don't let the hood, don't let the home cripple you. I don't have a support system where they're like, my hand is out all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's like, they're like, go do what you got to do. Like, we know you busy. We know you chasing a dream. Go do what you got to do. And so, like, being able to have those type of people around you is why I say, like, you got to have people around you with great intentions.
Amen.
Like, and so, like, people understand, like, I'm out here chasing my dream and I can't always be available.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's just like, when you got those type of people in your life, it's super important. But the same people who don't ask you for nothing, you got to be careful, because when they do, they can say, well, I don't ever ask you for nothing. So it's like, you got to be able to differentiate too. So, yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
That's real good. So you said you have brothers. Tell me about that relationship with them.
2 older brothers, so I'm the baby. Older sister named Tamia.
Hey, Tamia.
Yeah.
Hey, Titia. Hey, brother.
Timothy is the middle brother. Davon is the oldest, and they put me through it. But I think that's
older siblings.
I think that's why I am who I am today. It's because of how rough and tough they were on me. But like, those are my guardian angels.
I love that.
Like, they do not play about me.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like, if I call them right now and say, listen, like, something popped off, they gonna be here in 2 hours, and that's a 4-hour drive. Like,
Oh, wow.
I mean, like, they do
Love
not
that.
play about me.
Yeah.
And so, like,
That's beautiful.
yeah, I can never repay them for what they done for me. And so it's just like, to have some brothers who never look at you and feel any type of jealousy, feel any type of envy because of what you did.
Yeah.
And they also play sports. Like, they're full in on, like, little bro, like, we got this over here. Go do what you got to do for the family. And so, like, to have them two have my backbone like that, I can call them for anything. It's just like, I'm super thankful for it. I could never ask them for anything. So
That's so sweet. I love hearing
That
that.
is great.
So
What about your sister, though?
Yeah.
Tamia, oh my goodness, my biggest teddy bear best friend. She is just like full of life. She done brought me 6 beautiful nieces and nephews.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Yes.
y'all.
Even though they going in my pockets, but
Of course.
I'm
They supposed
Santa
to do,
Claus
right.
at Christmas. So,
Yeah.
but no, Tamia, like, yeah, she lived in West Memphis with my father, of course, but me and my brother stayed down with, you know, my mom. So we didn't get to see each other all the time, but when we did, it was like we saw each other every day. And so,
Yeah.
like, still to this day, she's still a character, man. We act really just, me, her, and my dad are more alike than me and my brothers. So, like, we act just alike, and she's hilarious, and we crack jokes all the time. And, you know, if she ever needs anything, she know I got her, and vice versa. And she just plays the big sister, stays out the way, and be like, if you ever need me, I'm here. But, like,
Yeah.
she just plays big sister. That's all it is. And so, super
Love
thankful
that.
for her.
Yeah.
So Tyler, what are some of the other things you do outside of basketball? Do you sing? Do you play guitar? Do you tap dance?
You know what's crazy is, like, I want to pick up another hobby.
Okay.
It's like, now being like in NBA, like, you have so much downtime. And so I've said, like, I'm going to pick up another hobby. But nah, honestly, I don't do much. Honestly, I read a little bit.
Okay.
Play the game a little bit. Like,
game?
Yeah, like, I play the video game.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm usually like, if my homeboys ain't with me, I'm sitting there watching movies.
Okay.
I'm a big movie watcher.
So what's one of the favorite movies you like to watch? Like, what's one of your favorite movies?
Like, a go-to,
Yeah.
Shrek.
Oh, okay
I
then.
can rewatch Shrek
We
every
like
day.
Shrek a little bit.
That is like my childhood favorite movie. Like,
Chyna, why you looking like that?
It sound like Chris. Oh my god.
That's her brother.
Shrek is the go-to for sure.
That is so
Yeah.
funny.
That is
Shrek is the one.
movie. Of all
Shrek is the
things.
one.
That
Like,
sounds
all
like
of them. I've seen
our
all of them
son.
100 times too. Like,
I believe it.
I never get tired of them.
Wow.
That is so good. So what's another one?
More up to date.
Because I just want to hear the thought processes on movies just because you do sound like her brother, which is really funny.
That's insane.
I'm a big Denzel fan.
Okay.
Big Denzel fan. So
Okay.
a lot of movies he's in, I hate to say it, but I'm a big Will Smith fan.
Oh, for sure.
Even though he be
He's a great
wilding out.
actor, though.
Yeah, he is.
he got
He's a great actor.
Will Smith, Denzel, like any movies they're in. And then I love Samuel. I'm naming the top black actors, but them, I love them
pretty
dudes. I
much.
love watching them dudes.
Yeah.
And then I guess I love Tyler Perry. So
Okay.
Oh, God.
You like watching that? Yeah. That makes sense.
Tyler Perry, dope man. Like,
Man.
I feel like now he's starting to gravitate to the same thing every time he puts something out.
Yeah.
Black woman, abusive, but that's just the genius of him.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'll go back and watch his plays. I go back and watch all his movies.
So did your mom intentionally?
No. Oh my God. So, fun fact, Tyler Perry was homeless when I was born.
Oh, wow.
I looked it up myself because I needed to know for stuff like this.
Yeah.
He was homeless living out of his car when I was born. Literally 6 months later, he turned in a play. It blew up. He went broke a year later.
Dang.
And then the Tyler Perry we know a day happened 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was literally September after my birthday is when he got his first hit off. He said he ended up becoming 6-figure guy. Ended up going broke. Couple months later, 2 years later, I think maybe I don't remember which
Did you
play
watch
it
the
was.
documentary?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember which play it was. I don't remember, but I read it before that came out.
Yeah,
I don't remember which play it was, but one of his plays hit, and then after that, he went on the road and became the Tyler Perry we know today.
Okay.
So maybe he took after me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it
probably not.
is.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more too about your training process, because you have people in your life too that really push you to stay fit and prepared for these games. So talk about some of those people in your life.
Yeah, so Brandon Roberts, man, the worst trainer in the world. Nah, I'm just Rob, we call him Rob.
Okay.
Coaches
Hey,
at
Rob.
Trinity Catholic,
Rob.
Trinity Christian High School out here
Okay.
in Cedar Hill.
Okay.
Man, we actually met a year and a half ago.
Okay.
When I was headed to K-State. I just came in to work out because of my cousin, Jeffrey Simpson. He lives down here, coaches at Trinity Christian too. And, they had been friends and coaching at the same school for a while.
Okay.
And me and Rob just got to talking. He was like, man, I've been around. I know a couple guys and, I've trained with a couple guys or whatever. And he was like, man, I know you're going to get a lot of people coming at you trying to get you to, go train with them. He was like, man, I'll do it for free. He was like, man, it's not about the money. It's not about the social media stuff. He's like, man, I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you want to come to Texas and train and get ready for the draft, he was like, man, I'll do it for free, no charge, just, whatever, work hard for me. And so when he said that, that's when it's it hit when I was a kid, you got to choose people who choose you.
Yeah.
And so
That's so good.
a man I had never met that's been around other superstars in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Could have been the big headed, could have said I'll do this for you, but pay this for me, post this for me. Never one time asked me for anything. So it was just that's a genuine guy, genuine man to come to me like that and say man, I'll do this for you for free. And then of course my cousin Jeffrey Simpson, just he's always been invested in me.
Yeah.
We went to the same alma mater, North Texas. And so he's always just been there, somebody that I could call if I'm struggling with basketball, college, whatever. He's just always pick me up.
Yeah.
And so he does most of my body stuff and the talks for me about what to take, what to eat, all that. And Rob does a lot of the basketball stuff. And so I have a great team around me. And so just my agent, Adrian Autry, I feel like I have the people that I have around me are sort of like me. Passed to the side, looked over, not valued like they should have been. And they are eager to get to where we're trying to go.
Wow.
And so that's what I tried to make my circle as, is people who are like-minded. And man, it's helped me so much in this process. It's
That is so wonderful.
I'm super blessed with my circle.
That's a beautiful thing.
I want to know about K-State and UNT.
Which one first?
Whichever you want to say first.
So UNT, No, we go K-State first. K-State, super blessed for them to give me the opportunity to play at that level.
Okay.
K-State allowed me to get to the Big 12, allowed me to play in the brightest lights, allowed me to be on that stage. And, Coach Tane, Coach Ream, Uric, Coach P, Marco, Carp, Bailey, A-Dub, Frankie.
All these people are who?
K-State coaches.
Okay, gotcha.
Gave me that opportunity and believed in me, even when everybody else didn't.
Got it.
And so, I'm forever grateful for it. It sucks because it's I wish things could have been different. But as we all know, God don't give us too much we can handle. And who knows if we would have had the same success they had the year before, the type of person I'd be right now. Who knows what would have happened or the type of things that could have happened. So it's just I know we had to be the sacrificial lamb this past year for them to elevate that program and for me to elevate. So it's just you have to go through some type of sacrifices. You can't have everything. And so it sucks, but you got to understand it once you leave and you're appreciative of man, those hard times I went through with those people, we're going to be better because of it. They're going to be better because of it. And so I'm super grateful for them. The fans treated me well. And just super grateful just to be able to say I got to play at that level.
Okay.
North Texas. I said them last because they just have a super special place in my heart. I'm a North Texas graduate, won 2 championships at North Texas.
That's awesome.
And Coach Hodge, I hope my jersey go in the rafters.
Hey, Coach Hodge.
They took a chance on me coming out of JUCO.
Okay.
And so when you meet people like that who come take a chance from a kid that comes from Coffeyville, Kansas, no matter what happens, you forever have a special type of love and appreciation for them. And not just my coaches, but every teammate I had there those 2 years and every fan that I ever had in North Texas. Still when I go back, man, it feels like I go there now.
Yeah.
And so we broke records, most wins in school history both years.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, conference championship, NIT championship. Most wins in a season, and it's just
Wow.
it was 16
Y'all
game
showed out.
winning streak.
Okay.
It was just that's family for life. Those guys that was on that North Texas team, I can still call to this day right now. I got brothers from that team that'll probably be in my wedding one day,
Okay.
and my kids will call them uncles.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just I shed tears with those guys, and I bled with those guys, and I went through everything with them for 2 years, and I wish I could have been there longer, honestly. And so, I have a super appreciation for North Texas, and I tell everybody where I go, I'm a North Texas graduate, get it right, make sure we got that right. So,
That's so cool.
I love it, love Denton to death, man.
Yay! I went to TWU actually.
Okay, yeah.
But you threw out a word. You said at some point they're gonna be in your wedding. Their kids call you uncle. So how old are you?
23.
23. And are you seeing somebody right now?
No, I'm single right now.
You're single right now. And so somebody out there is watching this show and they're gonna be saying, single. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
At some point, you're going to be looking for a young lady.
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Uh-huh. And what do you look for in a young lady?
I wouldn't say somebody exactly like my mama, but that reminds me of the quality she has.
Got it.
Cause I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah.
And so
Does your mama cook?
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. So I would say, like you said, great cook.
Okay.
Super smart. Understand my humor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you funny.
I guess. So and then I guess somebody who just understands me as a person.
Got it.
I think that's where we fail at a lot now is in our generation,
Yeah.
different from y'all's, is that we don't end up with people who understand us.
Got it.
We end up with people who, one, that just look good,
Yeah.
and that on the surface tell you what you want to hear.
Got it.
And so for me now, just in the dating scene and this, it's just we see a lot of women with Mercedes bodies, Mercedes-Benz bodies, and Pontiac insides.
Y'all hear that? A Mercedes body,
Hashtag
but a Pontiac inside.
Mercedes
Yeah.
body.
I hadn't heard it said like that before.
Inside.
Okay.
And so,
Crazy.
Yeah, so for me, honestly, now it's just like finding somebody who's just like emotionally intelligent. And
that's so good.
And has great awareness of like who she is as a person. And I think like a lot of people are failing and just finding themselves. It's just like who they want to be, not only for themselves but inside the relationship.
That's good.
And I think it's you got to differentiate the two, because like who I am as Tylor is completely different from who I am going to be as a husband.
Got it.
And so like trying to understand that for me too. I have to figure out who I am also too in this journey I'm on.
Yeah.
And so it's just like somebody who is willing to go through that process with me, the ups and downs, the ugly parts of it, the good parts, and just staying level-headed. Because even though it's going to get like this, we have to stay here.
Yeah.
And so
do you have deal breakers? Because you said your mama cooks. So if you meet a young lady and she is intelligent and y'all have great conversation and y'all are really connected, but then you find out that she doesn't cook.
Right.
So what would your thought process? I'm just going through it because I know how people are.
I'm going to struggle with that.
You gonna struggle with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
do you cook though?
yeah, I can cook.
Okay. I'm just asking.
If you can do everything else, it's the 80-20 rule is what it is. If you can do everything else, it's not going to be like, all right, I'm not going to be with you because you can't cook. We're going to figure out something.
Right.
Like, we're going to figure out how to cook. We're going to practice. We're going to do whatever. But, like, if you bring everything else to the table that I'm asking for, if it's one thing off, like, let's say it is what it is. Like, I love you more than that than to nitpick you that much.
Yeah.
And so, like, I get it. Like, I feel like any woman that I end up with is not going to be completely the perfect woman that I'm asking for.
Right.
Like something I'm not going to like.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And so like I understand that. So it's just like the things I don't like, I'm hoping the woman I end up, she makes up for in all the other areas.
Okay, I like that. And I'm understanding that too, because like with me and my husband, he would have liked for me to have cook. He would have liked it.
Right.
Now I do know how to. It's not something that I enjoy at all.
Or happens often.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often in this house. It goes down on the bring in the food, eat at my mama's house.
There you go.
We eat good.
Right.
We eat good.
Right.
Yeah. We find a way to get some good food, but it don't necessarily come from these hands. Is all I'm saying.
As long as his stomach stay full, that's all
You
that
know what I'm
matters.
saying? Oh, I'm gonna make sure, and that's the thing. I'm gonna make sure he eats. It's just that I'm not the one necessarily doing the preparation.
Well, so you making up for it because you making sure he eats.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So that's why I was asking you that thought process, because I feel like in young people's minds and in their thought processes, sometimes they can be so focused on a thing that they miss out on some of the really great things about the person. It could be something like, I understand people need to eat and all that. And like you said, your mom cooks. And so you will want somebody to cook. But just say, for instance, if they don't, then are you bendable enough, or is that a deal breaker where you're just like, well, absolutely not. So that's why I asked.
Right.
Yeah, because you ain't mentioned no deal breaker. She asked you.
What are your deal breakers?
I don't know if I have just like any deal breaker because I'm so flexible in who I am. Like,
but there have been things that you've learned about yourself and that you have experienced maybe with other people that
Absolutely.
you said, I don't ever want to do that again.
yes, for sure. Okay, your attitude.
Okay.
I cannot deal with an I'm better than you attitude because we're equal. We should be equal.
Yeah.
And then
That's good.
I'm not gonna change who I am attitude. And I think people don't understand. It's like what I've learned, like in my few relationships that I have, is like we come from two different backgrounds.
Yeah,
we come
Russia and
from
Spain.
Yeah, we come from two different cultures. We come from like two different lives, and so you have to understand, like, I'm not gonna understand everything you like.
Yeah.
You're not gonna understand everything I like.
Yeah.
We're gonna have different views on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because we were brought up different.
Yeah.
And so, if I don't like something or you don't like something, at some point we're gonna have to come together and be like, look, this is the compromise. We're gonna have to change this about myself if I love you enough.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like, when I get to that point where I'm like, okay, I want to marry this woman, I'm okay with changing a few things about how I view things or what I do for the woman that I love.
Right.
And I think just a lot of people don't want to do that no more. They're so stuck in, this is how I am.
Yeah.
I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to do this. Or you're going to keep going through that with every man, every woman that you end up with. Because at some point, either you're going to have somebody that you can walk over, or
Come on now.
you know what we deal with now is like, or you're going to get somebody that's end up putting their hands on you. And so it's just like, I feel like this is even me like thinking about like my nieces.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I would never tell them like, listen, yes, go find a man who, you know, loves you for you, but don't ever think like you don't have problems too.
Yeah.
Or you aren't missing something as a woman.
Yeah.
And so like, that was the biggest thing. It's just like, I would never put up with that again, as far as like thinking like you don't have to change. Because if I'm willing to change for you, you should be willing to change for me. So.
Yeah. Make some compromises.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the bottom
Absolutely.
line. That's really good. Chyna, do you have any other questions that you want to ask him? Because this is the opportunity. That sounds like a song.
It definitely did. Oh, that little thing you hit. That little thing you hit.
Xylophone over there.
No, that's crazy. I'm really trying to think. I really don't think I do. You don't have no more?
Who styled this?
Who styled this?
Yeah, like where this come from?
I think like H&M.
Oh, okay. I don't know
You
if it
know,
was a
Chyna is a
stylist.
stylist.
I'm actually not. She's a stylist.
Wait, who's the better dresser?
We have two completely different
We just don't see eye
styles
to
of
eye.
dress.
With the styles?
Clearly.
Yeah, like she dresses nice for her. I don't like wear the things though that she wears.
And I don't
compromise.
wear the things
Yeah, she doesn't
you
wear the
wear.
things I wear. So we like how each other looks in our things. However, she'll show me something and I'll go, absolutely not.
Right.
And vice versa.
But she's just more colorful. I feel like I'm more of like a neutral, dull black.
That's how I am though. Even though I'm getting a little bit to the colors, I'm not a super color person.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it's just
You be styling?
I'm better now than I ever have been. But
You would say you're fashionable?
now I am.
Okay.
But back when I was coming up, I couldn't dress to save my
Why
life.
now?
I guess I can afford it now.
Okay. See, but when you can really dress though, you can make
But
thrift
see,
store clothes
I didn't
look
understand.
good.
You had that concept in your mind.
I didn't understand the sense
Yeah.
back then. Like I was like, I had no clue. Like if I showed you some outfits from when I was younger,
Oh, I'm scared.
and now like you'd be like,
You
yeah.
gotta send some so the people can see what it's
for
looking
sure.
like.
It was outrageous. Yeah, but I'm better. I'm way better now.
Okay. So, Tyler, why don't you talk to the audience right before we get ready to get up out of here and just kind of share with that person again that's considering making basketball a career. Tell them, this is the other thing. My son played basketball, and one of the things I would always say to him, even though you're going to play basketball, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I say that often. And I said that because I know a lot of times you can be so committed to that. Just say, for instance, something happens to you physically or what have you. Things can happen. You just have to be able to, you don't necessarily have to be focusing on something else, but just knowing that if something were to change, if I had to make another decision, I need to be thinking about what would that be? What else do I enjoy doing? Or just kind of exploring those things, because again, the Lord allows different things to happen in different people's lives for whatever reason. So what is your thought on that?
I think like the biggest thing like now for sure, especially with all this NIL stuff going on in college, you have to find your identity outside of all this. And I think like even like as a kid, I loved my sport and I love what I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love who I am. And so like my mom actually wanted me to be a politician.
Okay.
Like she was like, you need to be the mayor, you need to whatever. And like my aunt too, my godmom, Monica Whitfield, like she was like, I'm still ready, hoping you put down the ball and go be mayor. And so like for me, it was always like, I'm going to give people a reason to like me outside of this sport. I'm going to give people a reason to be like, to acknowledge me outside of Tyler Perry, the basketball player. And I think a lot of kids now, you have to find an identity outside of your sport.
Yeah.
Because we get lost in this thing so much. We try to find ourselves and I've been guilty of it. We try to find ourselves within our sport so much we get lost in like, because it's not real at the end of the day. It's not at the end of the day. This thing is guaranteed to stop.
Yeah.
At some point, this basketball, this football, baseball is going to stop bouncing, rolling, fumbling, whatever. But our lives, our souls are not. Like, we're gonna keep going. And even after this life, we got to answer for it. And so,
come on now.
Yeah. So you have to find out who you are, whether that's in Christ, whether that's in family, whatever that is that you choose that path. You got to find your identity outside of it. And because if you don't, you see so many athletes now going broke, drug abuse, whatever the case may be, because I feel like they never find out who they are. And they lose their identity inside their sport. And when they're done and they don't have that to lean on. And you don't have that fame and you don't have that notoriety of people like, oh, there goes so-and-so, and they're not stopping you no more. I feel like that's where a lot of people go sideways, and it probably is hard. And so, but I've mentally prepared myself, like, already, like, when I'm done with this thing, I know exactly what I want to do to fulfill, like, the basketball part, missing that. And that's what another thing is, like I said, like, even when that doesn't fulfill it, I have Christ to lean on. Like,
come on now.
To lean on, like,
to
take care of everything that's missing.
That is so wonderful. So I didn't actually know you prior to Tyra's wedding. And so how were you connected to this Tyra and Jared?
So Jared is like my big brother, man. He was at North Texas with me. And I should have mentioned that earlier, but yeah, he was at North Texas with me. And it's so funny. He picked me up when I first got there to North Texas, and we were in a storm, and we thought it was over. And it was raining so hard out here. But yeah, me and Jared got to know, or he was already there for like 2 years. I had got there, and we spent 2 years together, and then we went to K-State together. So we spent 3 years together, and that's like, I talked to him today, literally. But like, that's like my big brother, and somebody. You see, I was in his wedding. And I had to win a bet to be in his wedding. It was crazy.
What was the bet?
Oh, wow.
We had to beat Texas in the Big 12 tournament.
Oh, wow.
That was literally the bet. We had to beat Texas. So if we would have lost that game, I would have never probably ran into y'all. So
wow. That is so great. So was that your commitment then, that you had the mindset that you were winning in order to be in the wedding, or?
Well, yeah, that and being an Oklahoman, like, I knew that was going to be Texas's last Big 12 game because they moved over to the SEC. But I was like, what a way to go out if I beat Texas for their last Big 12 game, being from Oklahoma, being a Sooners fan growing up, like, Sooners football, by the way. And,
thank you for the people.
And beating them, and then Jared making that bet before, and shoot around the night before, he was like, yeah, if you beat Texas, then I'll call Tyra and I'll make some arrangements. And I made him do it right after the game.
Oh, wow. That's so crazy.
It's really crazy, though, because he only had, like, 3 people.
Yeah, me, Shaw. Well, Reem was supposed to be there, but Reem had to do something with his family. And so it was supposed to be me, Reem, Shaw, and his brother.
Right.
So we were missing one, but you can't miss Reem, so.
But he still had not as much as Tyra anyway, so you was going to have to be
in. He had 3 groomsmen, and she had 15 bridesmaids.
Well, Jared don't mess with nobody. He's so antisocial.
I know, but like, to put a bet on you, like, you wasn't going to be in the wedding is crazy.
Yeah. Well, he knew he was finna lose, so
that is so great.
That's funny.
Well, Tyler Perry, we have enjoyed fellowshipping with you. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we depart?
No, I don't think so. Appreciate y'all having me.
And we're so glad you came. And it's just been a blessing to hear your process of the journey of basketball, as well as your upbringing and the support that you have with your family. I think that is absolutely so beautiful. Shout out again to your mom and your dad, as well as the trainers and all the coaches that you've had in your life. That's been a blessing. It has allowed me to see how proud everyone could be about you, because you've shown that today. And I'm just so proud that you were here with us to express your journey. So what we do here at this point, we express what we're okay with. Being that we've had the opportunity to hear your story, I'm going to say that I'm okay with disciplining my son. And the reason why I'm saying that is because
At this big age?
no. I'm saying just as a child.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
he's an adult now. What I'm saying is after listening to you, I'm saying that's what I've been okay with because I feel like I am just as proud of my son as your mom is of you. And it has come from the discipline. Like you said, the influence your mom had on your life. And so I'm saying after hearing you, I'm saying I'm okay with the discipline. Go ahead.
Whatever I'm okay with.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what am I okay with.
What are you okay
Anything that you've talked about tonight, anything that you have heard or we've communicated about, what have you been okay with?
I think I would say I'm okay with. No, I'm not okay with that. I was going to say if I don't touch in big court, but I'm absolutely not okay with that.
Yeah,
It's
don't
gonna
say
happen.
that.
Right.
Nah.
I think what you're okay with is if the wife doesn't cook.
Yeah, I'm okay with if the wife.
Oh, gosh.
The wife don't cook.
Put that on you, though.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
I'm just saying based on what we said.
Yeah, if
today.
the wife don't cook, if she don't cook, but she know how to do everything else, I'm okay with that.
I just had to throw that in, but go ahead.
Okay.
Chyna, what are you okay with?
I'm okay with keeping Christ at the center of my life.
Amen.
And leaning on him.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yep, that was great, guys. So amazing.
Well, you can watch us each Wednesday morning. I said nighttime because we are shooting at night, but this will air Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. on
will.
YouTube. So make sure you are liking, sharing, and subscribing. And also tell us what you thought about Tylor Perry here with us today. What did you learn from him? Or share this with some other young person that may be trying to expand basketball and go on the journey of entering the NBA. So we want you to share with us what you thought about Tylor.
Yes, and also listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But yeah, you can do that, but still come on YouTube to see how cute we looking because we are very fashionable. We look real cute. So go over to YouTube and watch us.
Yay! Thank you so much for tuning in. So this is where we say, okay then, bye then, Tylor. So you have to say it with us. when we
Okay
get
then,
ready.
bye then.
Yeah, we do it together. So on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay then, bye then.